Welcome to Magma Treasures, and today we have a good lesson, lessons to learn through a pandemic. Let's go straight to it. Is having an emergency fund. There's nothing I have learned in this pandemic as saving. Not even saving, but having what they call an emergency fund. Do you have money you keep aside that doesn't have anything it's going to solve? Just there for just. Now, I know people are going to think such accounts are good for people who earn more. But let me tell you something. You should know also that more money, more problems. You have to learn to put aside some income for unexpected expenses. I mean, the way we got excited about 2020, people were like 2020. No longer sounds like 2020. It's the start of the year. Let's put that fund aside. Open a savings account. Work to either cut your costs or increase your income to build your emergency fund. Another lesson that we learned from the pandemic is to grab a skill. Guys, people lost jobs, like, oh my goodness. I don't want to talk about this a lot because really lots of people lost their jobs. But we always learn or win. Merriam-Webster defines a skill as the ability to use one's knowledge effective and readily in execution or performance. It goes with an intransitive verb to make a difference. Have you asked yourself, what have I learned in this? I mean, we can see it's going round and round right now. Here at Magma Treasures, though, we are here to find the genius within. We're here to advise you that there's something within. But before we do that, do you even have a skill? I mean, hey, beautiful, handsome, something to really cling on and proudly say, I know this. It could be photography, it could be cooking, it could be baking, IT, to mention but a few. Have you thought of tailoring? I know it sounds cheap to some people, but hey, people have evolved from tailors to designers. What is your passion? What is your passion? Something that you enjoy doing. Les Brown says, get something you love and get people to pay you. In this pandemic, you have to find something. You know, some people with skills were less affected actually because their hands and skills continued. Of course, not as before, but at least not like some of the people who lost jobs. What else can your hands get on? See, when the work gets tough, you don't run away. You become tougher. That's how you're going to get through. There's always a way. Are you ready to look for another way? This year, grab a new skill, guys. We have skills that also keep you on that job too. As many were fired, many were promoted also, and were kept by the companies. Why? Because they have extra skills. They possess leadership skills, problem solving, communication skills. I mean, look for those and develop them to make you outstanding at that job. What difference do you even make at work? Every day, the world becomes hard and survival becomes for the fittest. There is nothing easy right now. You get to stop joking and start being serious about who you want to be and how to get there. Therefore, my dear, get that skill and master it, and the new year will start being easy for you. Another one that we learned was to hold close your loved ones. And we learned that relationships matter. At the beginning of the pandemic, the fear was inevitable. The trauma of not knowing what was next. For us who are in this generation, that had never been seen. But at the beginning of the terrible situation, it's hard to look at the positive side. But as the curve goes down, you know that it's here. I mean, the situation is here. You start looking at it and ask yourself, what has it taught you? This pandemic, however hard it has been, it has brought families together. To some workaholic parents, they were able to spend time with the kids, and the kids too with their parents, as parents were busy at home getting worried of what to do next. The little ones were rejoicing. They were really happy to have mom and dad at home for the longest time ever. Am I speaking to someone out there? Yeah, I know that. I saw people really doing weddings, and I was watching recently Justin Bieber, quarantine time, and all the celebrities. They got time to treasure little things. The social distance that was created by coronavirus instead drew families together. They went back to look for their own. Instead of crying over the situation, they were grateful. They bonded with family. Is there anything more beautiful than that? Re-evaluating our lives was something else that we learned from the pandemic. There's no time that I was able to sit and think about life, my kids, my family, like the lockdown time. It allowed people to pause, reflect, and introspect, to know that what they thought was the biggest problem, there was actually something worse than they thought. Anyway, personally, it was through this time that I knew it was time to stop chasing waterfalls and actually focus on the purpose. What you're called for. And making sure you refocus. It's your intention to introduce practices to help you uncover the art that you already have, that is already alive in you. It's time to release your art into the world, because it needs you for the glory of your Creator and also for the benefit of others, guys. I always tell my friends, the people that are close to me or the people that I even meet, that until you better yourself, you absolutely have nothing to offer. Be better to better others. This pandemic has been important to me personally because I have added value to myself. What about you, my dear? Come on, in the comment section, as you subscribe, just comment. What have you learned into this pandemic? This is what I think. I think good life after the pandemic, or even during the pandemic, belongs to those people that have decided to add value to themselves. Like, they will not do one thing at all. Multitasking is the big deal right now. You need to add value to yourself. What else can you do? You can't control life incidences is another thing that we learned. An opportunity to rely on God. Does anybody out there actually still think they can control life anymore? We saw the rich, the white, the black, poor, all being affected by the pandemic. I'm sorry to say, but the pandemic did actually differentiate between color, status, or even where you come from. We had the biggest cities coming down with the pandemic. Imagine the plans that companies, people, or even yourself had laid out, but they were all laid off totally. Just like that. What does this teach us though? That we plan, but the Creator actually is the final planner. With this point, I'll leave you with a verse that says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish those good plans. It's us. We can plan, guys. I'm not saying don't plan. We can plan. But how about after planning, you just raise it up and just say, God, may you establish my plan. it's very important. This pandemic brought people closer to the source, closer to God. They knew that there's a greater power above that actually controls the plans that we have, and there's nothing we can do about that. So today, as I conclude, subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification, and don't forget to leave a comment or even share this information. As I conclude, I'm here to tell you guys to just commit your goals, your lives to your source, because 2020 has actually taught us enough lessons. With that said and done, good luck. Mwah. Love you guys. Ciao.